We're heading back to that breaking news alert. A press conference about to begin in the graduation tragedy at MTSU. A man was shot and killed, another hurt. We're going to listen right now to get an update.
Police Department. We appreciate each and every one of you for coming out this evening. Before we get started, I want to recognize City Mayor Shane McFarland is here. He will not be speaking. He made statements earlier today. Some of our detectives, our police chief Michael Bowen is here, as well as Sheriff Mike Fishew with Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. And joining me with comments today will be James Evans with Rutherford County Schools. Let me first begin by saying it's a sad day for our community. This was simply a senseless act of violence that never should have happened. Our heart goes out to the family of the person who died as well as the person who was injured. We do have an update as of 4:25 this afternoon. A 17-year-old juvenile has been taken into custody. He was arrested with assistance from Clarksville, Tennessee police. He is in custody as we speak. So now the community can rest assured that we were able to get this killer off the streets. The Murfreesboro Police Criminal Investigation Division homicide detectives have been working literally around the clock. They've been working to get a resolve to this particular case, developing a suspect overnight, and moving forward with an arrest today. The 17-year-old, we were able to obtain juvenile petitions for first-degree murder. He will be charged with first-degree murder, and he will have to appear in Rutherford County Juvenile Court. This person has proven he is dangerous. He especially firing into a crowd of people as they were leaving the Riverdale High School graduation on last night. That's why it was so important for us to get him off the streets, a violent and dangerous individual. We do want to identify the deceased person. He's been identified as 18-year-old Hassani Brewer. That's 18-year-old, and I'll spell that for you, Hassani-Brewer. The other person that was injured has been identified as a 17-year-old, and since he's a minor, we will not be releasing his name. We understand his condition has been upgraded to stable. Last night he was in critical but stable condition. He is now in stable condition. And I do want to recap about 8:51 Wednesday evening. MPD officers responded to the MTSU campus for a report of a shooting. MTSU police as well as Rutherford County Sheriff's officers were already on at that location because of the graduation. Now, when MPD officers arrived, they found two victims near the tennis courts between next to the Murphy Center. Now those, of course, one person died, and of course the other one was taken to the hospital where, again, he's in stable condition. The preliminary investigation shows that the two victims, the two victims got into an altercation. They began fighting. The fight spilled over to the tennis courts, and that's when the shooter, the 17-year-old shooter, took out a gun and began firing. And we all know the results. It resulted in the death of one person and the injury of the other. You know, there could be pending charges against others, but that part of the investigation is still active. Now, MPD is working closely with MTSU, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Highway Patrol, MTSU University, as well as MTSU Police. They all assisted us in this endeavor. Last night, the Sheriff's Office had K-9s. We had our K-9s on the scene searching for the suspect. Metro Nashville Police sent a helicopter, and they were able to help us, assist us via the air, trying to locate the suspect. And I wanted to kind of paint a picture for you guys. The graduation was just ending. People were leaving. This fight began. So just imagine the chaos when shots rang out. And so we've been questioned about, why haven't we released a description of the suspect? That suspect blended in with the crowd of people as he walked away. So people started running, he started running. So people, unbeknownst to a lot of people, the shooter was right beside him. So that's how he made his getaway. And that's why we were so determined to make sure we got this guy off the streets. And we're, again, glad to report that he has been arrested with the assistance of Clarksville police. We want to keep in mind that investigations of this nature, they take time. And we just ask for the patience of you, the media, the patience from the public, to make sure that you give us an opportunity to conclude this investigation. Do want to add that this is not Murfreesboro. We are better than this. We are better than this. But the public can rest assured that we will get to the bottom of this, find out what the motive that led up to this fatal shooting and the injury of another person. And that's why we worked extremely hard to get this person identified and to get him into custody. And as always, incidents like this is just a reminder of how close-knit this particular community is. And in the end, we will be stronger together. I'll take a few questions later, but now I would like James Evans with Rutherford County Schools to come up and give an update as well.
Thank you. I'm James Evans. I'm the Communications Director for Rutherford County Schools. The first thing that we'd like to express is our gratitude for law enforcement. As Mr. Flowers expressed, multiple law enforcement agencies worked together very quickly last night. We were personally on the scene throughout the night last night trying to get answers, and we just appreciate how quickly everyone moved. The school was closed today as a precaution and to give law enforcement time to complete their investigation. The school will remain closed tomorrow for students. It is reopening for faculty and staff. We're going to have some counselors on hand to help work with staff members to prepare for students returning on Monday. We have kept parents informed each step of the way as we had information. As far as we've had questions today is which of these people were students. I'm going to explain some of that now. The shooter was not a student of the school. My understanding is he is a former student of the school, but he's not a current student. The deceased is also a graduate of the school, but not a current student, but is a graduate. And then the person who was injured is a student at the school. He's a junior currently at the school. And that's the information that we can release about that. There are minors involved, so we can't release names. I do understand there's been a community vigil plan for tonight. I'm sure you all are interested in covering that. But that has to come from the family, of course, and we are very supportive of their efforts. Like I said, we'll have the school reopened on Monday. We plan to have many counselors. We've also had questions today about the other graduation that we have tonight, Blackman High School. We believe this was an isolated incident. We don't expect violence tonight. We are having additional officers there tonight just as a precaution, but otherwise the school is planning to have a nice ceremony for their students. They've earned a graduation, of course, and so they are carrying on with their plans tonight. Can I answer any questions before Mr. Flowers comes back up?
Around how many additional officers do you expect to have there?
I don't have an exact number. We don't usually release that, though, just because of it's part of the safety plan. Any other questions?
Can we get the spelling of your name and title, please?
Sure. James, just like it sounds. Evans is E-V-A-N-S. I'm the Communications Director for Rutherford County Schools. Any others? Okay, Mr. Flowers.
Any questions?
You said that the victim's name, the person who died, 18-year-old Hassani, was it Brewer?
Yes.
Does he also go by Sonny Gant? That's his family has said that is his name and that Hassani Brewer is his legal name. I just wanted to confirm that.
I have not spoken with the family. From looking at his Tennessee driver's license, this is the name that's showing.
Can you spell his first name one more time?
Hassani. And we got a slideshow going on here. Apologize about that.
And the suspect, how did you develop that person as the suspect? How did you know?
That's part of the investigation. The important thing to note here is he's now in custody and no longer a threat to this community.
Where did you guys find him?
Again, as I mentioned earlier, he was located in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Can you elaborate more on what the relationship was between the two victims and or the shooter? Did the two victims play football together? Did the shooter play anything like that?
Jason, again, all of that type of information our detectives are trying to sort out at this moment, and so I would be hesitant to try to give a relationship between them. We're focusing on making sure a violent criminal got off the streets, and that's what we ended up doing, arresting this person.
How pivotal was surveillance video from the campus to your investigation?
Anytime you have an incident like this, our detectives leave no stone unturned. They search the area looking for video, looking for any evidence that could aid them in the investigation. You know, they even talk to witnesses to see if witnesses had video. So, of course, anytime we have an investigation of this nature, video and any other evidence we collect is vital.
Was the suspect armed when you found him?
Again, that will be part of the investigation. We can't reveal everything because it is an active and an ongoing investigation.
And was he arrested without incident?
As far as we know, he was arrested, taken into custody with no problem by Clarksville, Tennessee police.
And does he live in Clarksville or does he live here in Murfreesboro?
From what we understand, he is a Murfreesboro resident, but again, you know, you had a violent killer that shot into a crowd of people on a college campus, and of course, he's going to try to make a run and get away from the area where the crime was committed, so therefore, he fled the area.
Did he have connections in Clarksville or family? Just trying to get an idea of why he would go to Clarksville and where he could.
I'm afraid you will have to ask him or his family that. We are not ready to reveal what type of relationship or where he was in Clarksville, but the important thing to note here is this violent killer is off the streets.
Were the two victims and the suspect, were they here for the graduation?
There was a graduation ceremony going on campus. We don't know of any other event, so you would assume they were there for the graduation. We really appreciate it, guys. Scott?
Could this go to be certified as an adult case, or what can you tell us about when you go to court?
Well, Scott, as you know, anytime we file a juvenile petition, that situation has to play out in court, and that will be up to the judge to decide if they want to have a hearing to try him as an adult. But now that he's been arrested, that will be up to the court to decide whether he will be tried as an adult. We just have first-degree murder petitions on him, and he would have to answer to those charges, whether he's an adult or a juvenile.
Do we know if the shooter owned the gun?
Again, that would be part of the investigation. You know, the ownership of the gun is not important right now. Again, what's important is we got a violent criminal off the streets.
And whenever he fled, was it by foot? Did he get in a car? Did he drive away?
Again, as I mentioned earlier, he blended into a crowd of people that were running because they heard gunshots. So however he escaped the area, we know he left on foot, but from there, we're not certain.
And did any of them know each other?
I mentioned that earlier in the release, that both victims as well as the suspects all knew each other.
Do you guys have anything to share about their relationship or maybe history that could have led to this point?
That will be part of the investigation.
You have been in trouble before with a rap sheet, you know?
At this point, we're not ready to talk about backgrounds. Again, as you know, the problem we had last night is we had a shooter on the loose, a killer, a cold-blooded killer that will open fire onto a crowd on a college campus as children. And these are children. Regardless of ages, these are children that were celebrating a night that should have been special for them that ended in gunfire. So you just imagine, you know, how that played out. So, you know, again, we're just happy that we were able to arrest this child.
And you said that he's a former student. Is he a graduate?
I will have to defer to James Evans. He's with Rutherford County Schools.
The shooter,
Of Riverdale?
a former student of Riverdale, yes.
We appreciate it, guys. Thanks. And I do apologize about last night. I was in Boston on training. Was able to stay up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning making sure all the media inquiries got answered. So I do apologize about that. And that's why we made sure we accommodated you guys after I flew back in. Thanks. Have a great one.
Look at the spelling
All right, we just got that big update from a bunch of police officers. This joint effort thankfully led to the arrest of a 17-year-old individual taken into custody in Clarksville. The suspect, we are told, will be charged with first-degree murder. However, we are unsure if he will be charged as a juvenile or as an adult.
We're also learning more about what led up to that shooting. The two victims were actually fighting when the suspect opened fire, killing one. The other has now been increased to stable condition and told is expected to be okay. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this story for you. Find the very latest breaking details online at WKRN.com.